Hong Kong is a unique place. Once a British colony, now a special administrative region of the People's Republic of China, its history has produced a great city forged from two very different cultures. One of the pluses in the British ledger is the presence of a thriving football community with well over a century of history. But modern times bring new challenges. Mark Sutcliffe is the Hong Kong Football Association's CEO. He was brought in to implement a plan to reinvigorate football here from top to bottom.
Well, Project Phoenix has actually literally just finished last month, and it was a 3-year government-funded project. So there was two main elements to it. The first was actually getting the Hong Kong Football Association fit for purpose. So developing the organisation, getting more expertise, improving the governance, strengthening the management side of things. And then the second area related to football development, and that was about improving systems and structures from the grassroots all the way through to the elite level.
So what are the main issues facing the game here? Well, space is a constant headache. Hong Kong is very urban, with only one pitch for every 180,000 people. That means any football field gets an awful lot of use. However, the Football Association is very active in bringing the game to whoever might wish to participate.
The Hong Kong Football Association's grassroots and youth football development is divided into a number of parts. The first is our programme during the summer. This runs through the holidays and is for kids between the ages of 4 and 17. It's intended to promote football between them. Another is our youth training programme, which takes place across 18 districts. This is for kids from 6 to 17. Under this scheme, they receive a full year of training, and they participate in tournaments organised by the Football Association.
Girls have historically tended to be less involved in the sport, though Hong Kong has had a women's team for over 30 years. Betty Wong was their captain, is now their coach, and is delighted with the progress that's been made at all levels.
I think there are actually more girls playing football than there were before, but we have difficulties too. Women's football is not a favoured sports option for some parents and teachers. But I think the situation is improving, and more schools are now setting up teams for girls' football. Some teachers are happy to recommend kids with potential to join our schemes, so I think it's getting better.
One of Project Phoenix's most important aims was to improve the quality of Hong Kong's junior international teams. This is starting to happen. The under-16s qualified for the Asian Championship for the very first time this year. And coach Javi Bravo, who spent a decade at Barcelona's academy, is hoping to use his background to make improvements across the board.
I think the standard of the kids is quite good. Maybe not the same standard than in Europe, maybe one step below, but I think it's quite good. I think especially the young ages now are much better than the older. The clubs are trying to improve, also coaches, venues, trainings. I think they're trying to improve a lot.
Some of the most important reforms have been at the top of the game. Hong Kong's league embraced full professionalism in 1969, well before any other in Asia. 5-figure crowds were common back in the 80s, but these days, faced with television competition from Europe, attendances are much lower. This season, the FA has introduced a new Premier League for the top clubs.
Well, I think the main thing that we've done is to try and align it with the AFC Champions League licence, so that our league is now run on a licence system as well. So last year we moved from the first division to this season into the Premier League, and the clubs that are playing in our Premier League this season had to apply for a licence. Those licence criteria had some sporting provisions, but they also were about, again, strengthening the governance and the management of the clubs to make sure that we could tackle some of the other more negative influences that were happening and perhaps deterring people from coming to watch. So it's based on a licence system. We've rebranded the league. We've got a new sponsor. We have a broadcasting deal. And hopefully the measures that we're introducing over time will make sure that the clubs can attract better quality players.
The Premier League contains 9 teams, and an effort has been made to bring football to the people. Each club has a designated home stadium, something that wasn't always the case in the past. which means people in the outlying town of Yunlong get to see professional football on their doorstep. It's all part of an effort to bring out the fans. Hong Kong's football may have been in the doldrums, but there's no doubting the passion for the game at all levels. With China, Japan and both Koreas in the neighbourhood, perhaps Hong Kong will always be making up the numbers. But that doesn't mean they can't be worthy and occasionally dangerous opponents.
We'd like to get to a FIFA ranking of around about 100 within 10 years, which I think is achievable. Obviously you need a particular strategy to gain the ranking points, but and we're not going to chase that in the short term. Our strategy is a long-term development plan, but if we do that and we're successful in getting better players playing in Hong Kong, then we will gradually rise up the rankings, I'm sure.